This video is to give somebody an idea about what they might expect if they go to the NRA annual meeting, NRAAM. This is footage from NRAAM 2023 in Indianapolis, Indiana. All I'm doing is walking around with my cell phone, just holding it up as I'm walking around. So there's little clips and snippets here that I just faded together, all together in one video. I turned the volume down some because the microphone will pick up a lot of background noise. So I'm just making this voiceover to lay over top of the video, and this will give you an idea about what to expect. So this is only the second time I've gone to NRAAM. The last time was 4 years ago. It was also in Indianapolis. The reason I hadn't gone to the ones in between then and now were because I either didn't want to pay the money to travel further away, or they were canceled because of things going on in our country. Next year, NRAAM will be in Texas. I might go, I might not. I'm not sure, but I've got almost a year to plan that out, and I like that about what they do with this show. You've got a year or more in some cases to know where it's going to be and save up the money and book your hotel if you're going to stay or whatever it is. You know, make the arrangements to take the time to do this, because the show is over a couple days, but you don't have to go for a long weekend. In this case, I went one day, just like I did back in 2019. Now, originally I was planning to go for a couple days and stay there. Those plans fell through, so I just decided to make it a day trip. Indianapolis is in the same time zone as me, so it was about a 5-hour drive. So I got up early, drove there, went to the show, was there all day, and drove home. It was a productive day. It was a good day overall, and I'm glad that I went. Now, some people will tell you that there's no way to do the whole show in a day, and I disagree. But I also kind of manage things a little bit differently. I'm on my own. I'm not dragging 3 or 4 people behind me. That'll slow you down. Also, I didn't stop to eat or drink, mostly so I didn't have to make bathroom breaks, because that will slow me down. I got in, I did what I wanted to do, and I left. Afterward, I just sort of hung out to wait for traffic to clear. It was a nice day out, and I just got to enjoy the fresh air and the warmth. And it was a great day to be there. There was a little bit of rain in the morning, and I thought the day was going to be kind of gloomy, but it really turned out to be a good day. Another thing is that the NRA will try to have these shows in places that are more centrally located, more towards the middle of the country. I think that's to help draw in people, but also they try to pick cities and states where they're Second Amendment friendly. For example, Indiana has constitutional carry. So I walked in there concealed carrying. At a certain point, I went into the media room and changed to open carry because concealed carry is so uncomfortable for me. I just went ahead and went to open carry, and it was kind of nice being able to do that. And I was open carrying around the city of Indianapolis. I went to a grocery store afterward and picked up some beer that I can't get in Michigan, and people were complimenting me on my 1911. I mean, Indiana is a pro-gun state, so it's a good location, in my opinion, to have a trade show like this. And that's what this is. It's a trade show. Now, you don't have to be a YouTuber in order to go, but if you are a YouTuber and you want to make videos, this is a good place to go to do it, especially if you're a small channel and you're trying to get bigger, or you're trying to learn more about the industry, you're trying to get better at making videos, things like that. This is a really good opportunity, in my opinion. But you don't have to be a YouTuber. You can simply be a firearms enthusiast, a customer, that sort of thing. You're just looking around to see what's new, or maybe you just want to meet up with some friends and hang out for the day or for the weekend. This is definitely a place to do it. And downtown Indianapolis is kind of nice. So there's lots to do there, more so than just going to this trade show. Now, while you're there, you can talk to these vendors, ask questions. Maybe you've got a problem with a product. You might be able to make a contact who can maybe help you with a warranty issue or something like that. You can learn a little bit about the industry. You might be able to say, hey, why haven't you made this in 6 months? Why has it been out of stock for 6 months? And you get an answer. You finally get an explanation, or you find out how things really work or something like that. So there's lots of opportunity there. And it's not just guns and ammunition they've got there. They've got knives, and they've got holsters, and they've got concealed carry insurance, or just carry insurance, or there was somebody there. They had an organization where they're trying to teach kids about historical firearms to try to get them into responsible gun ownership, or they're different services. So they had hunting guides there and other things. So there's more than just firearms there. I mean, there was gun oil and ammunition storage and everything related to the industry or things that you would do with a firearm, like hunting or competitive shooting or things like that. Another thing is they've got swag. If you go there, you're probably going to get some free stuff. Now, you might be able to get a lot of it because some of these guys will just give you as much as you want. In other places, they were real stingy. They were really stingy. So don't go there thinking you're going to walk out of there with hundreds of dollars worth of stuff and make out like a bandit. 4 years ago, some guy was joking around about, selling the shit on eBay. I'm like, that's a thing? But I know that some people, some YouTube channels will get the free shit that they mail to their patrons from a show like this or from going to multiple shows like this over the course of the year. This is where it comes from, guys. You can get this stuff too. And then you don't have to be a patron to get a sticker. But some of these places will give out all kinds of stuff. Like when I was over at Canic, they were throwing T-shirts at people, right? It was like being at a concert. Other places, you get one decal and that's all you fucking get. Right? So it just depends. But that is something else that you can get while you're at the show. They did have food there. They had a food court, and it was packed. I didn't even, take a look at anything, so I don't know how good the food is, or I really wasn't there for that sort of thing. Now, as far as preparation for the show, last time I kind of went in blind. I didn't get my press credentials ahead of time. I didn't even know they had such a thing. I found out last time. So this time I went online and applied for my press credentials, and I got an email saying I had been confirmed, but that was it, right? So what the hell? I get there, I go up front to where you get your, you show them your NRA card and they give you your lanyard and all the other stuff. If they didn't mail it to you, which they mailed me the lanyard, I'm going, where the hell are my press credentials? And I go, hey, I applied for press credentials and I was confirmed. And they go, oh, you have to go to a press room. And I wanted to go, motherfucker, I walked past that. I walked like 100 miles all the way over here because it is a long walk all the way to the front, right? I walked past the press room I walked all the way back to the press room, went in there. They asked for my driver's license. They ran my name through. They gave me the name of my YouTube channel. I said, yeah, that's me. And they gave me my press credentials, which looked different than the regular lanyard if you're just a member. After that, I went into the show. I actually walked into the show with my regular credentials, just my NRA stuff. Did a little bit. I was doing. Somebody was doing a live show. Travis P11 was doing a live show, and since I was a panelist on there, I just turned on the camera and we were broadcasting from the Canic booth, simulcasting on his show from there. Then later, I went back and got my press credentials. But all that walking around was wasting time. Once I got that, I just went through and I decided to make a list of people I wanted to see. This is something else I learned from last time. Last time I got a map and I didn't know where I was going, and I just happened to go to see a lot of companies I wanted to see just on a whim. I'd round the corner and, ooh, I know them. I buy their stuff. I'll go talk to them or whatever, right? This time I had a plan. So I went to the NRA website and I looked at the list of vendors, and I made up a list of 45 vendors on a Word document and printed it out. It's in alphabetical order. And I got the map, and you can look up the vendor by alphabetical, the listing there, and then I got the booth number. And then on the map, you can see where the booth number is. Now, if you look up, you'll see these signs with numbers, and that's supposed to be, give you an idea about where you are, and the booth should be somewhere over there. Most of them were. A few of them were nowhere near where they were supposed to be, and I have no idea why that ended up that way, but hey, whatever. So I had the list. I had 45 vendors on there. Now, some of these were vendors I absolutely wanted to see, and others were alternatives in case I couldn't find the other vendors, or they were too crowded, or something else like that. Or I saw everybody I wanted to see. Now I've got extra time. Let's go see how many others I can see. Now, out of those 45, I didn't go see 7 of them, either because I took a look and I just decided to bypass them altogether, or I just never found them. But I went to 7 other vendors that I did not plan to go look at all, either because I ran into them by mistake or because somebody texted me and say, hey, can you stop by here and pick up some swag for me? Sometimes I would just walk through it, look around and go, okay, this is the same shit they had 4 years ago, or I bought everything in this booth, over the years. There's nothing in here that I don't already own, so I'm out of here, right? And other times I would be in there and I would stop and talk to them for a while. In some cases, I really didn't plan on talking to them, and then I end up having a conversation with somebody from the company. A couple of them I went back to a second time because they were really crowded and it was hard to shoot video. So I came back later to shoot video, or I came in to see somebody and they weren't around and they said, hey, they'll be back in an hour, come back in an hour. So I'd swing back by and then talk to them. In some cases, I got to talk to somebody high up in the company. In other cases, I just talked to somebody who worked a desk job or worked out on the floor at the plant But no matter what, I was able to network out with people and get some questions answered and learn some things and just, overall, I had a positive experience for the most part. There were a few vendors that, yeah, it was a waste of time, but it's still, I wasn't there trying to get free stuff. I wasn't there trying to weasel things. They see tons of that. They see that press pass. They know you got a YouTube channel, and they know that you're going to be in there trying to get tons of free stuff. Now, I did ask for some things to take to Thunder on the Prairie, and some of these companies handed me some decals and whatnot to take the Thunder on the Prairie to give out to some people when I go in June. But other ones just kind of rolled their eyes and said, yeah, sure. And so I'm sure they hear all kinds of people saying all kinds of things to try to get all kinds of free stuff, but that wasn't the main reason I was there. It was just something that I was trying to do while I was there. I was really trying to multitask. I was hoping to run into some of my friends while I was there. I did run into 6 YouTubers while I was there. One of them I had never met in person before. We just sort of ran into each other at a booth, and we had a conversation, and he gave me some swag and whatnot, and that was kind of nice. I ran into 3 people I consider friends. They're not YouTubers, but I knew them, and it was kind of nice. It's kind of like, what are you doing here? It's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? We had no idea, or that sort of thing. So that was kind of nice. But that was really the main reason I wanted to go, was really to meet up with people. There were a lot of other people I knew that were there. I never even crossed paths with them on the floor. I was playing phone tag with one all day long. And then finally, about maybe 2/3 of the way through the show, we ran into each other. We just happened to be crossing paths, and we stopped and talked for a while and that sort of thing. So it's good to reconnect with friends and reconnect with acquaintances and just some of the business contacts out there that, sometimes when you do this long enough, you start to get to know people. I'm not saying I'm anybody special or I've got like this Rolodex of people, but it's just something that over time, if you keep doing this, if you keep putting work into this, that sort of thing kind of comes up. So there's a lot you can get out of going to NRAAM. You can see, from this video footage just walking around, these displays look real nice. It's just like going to any other type of trade show. But there's a lot you can get out of going to this, and you don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to be anybody special, and you don't really need to go out of your way. This is whatever you make it. If you want to make it into a multi-day trip and hang out with a bunch of friends, you can do that. If this is a business trip, it can be all business. If this is just you wanting to see what's new, or it's near where you live this year and you just want to, do something on the weekend, it can be that. It can be whatever, you want it to be. It can be as good of an experience or bad of experience as you want to make it. But if you've never gone, the first time you go, you might be a little bit uncomfortable or stumbling around, but if you make some mental notes over the course of the day, you'll know what to do the next time you go to one of these shows. I think I did better this time around than the first time, but I don't want to call the first time a bad experience. It really wasn't a bad experience at all. And I would like to do more events like this. It's just a matter of fitting it into my schedule and fitting it into my budget. These aren't for everybody. Some people don't like the crowds. They don't like being around all the people. They don't like waiting in the lines. They don't like, driving downtown to the big city and things like that. And I get that. There are other things all across the country, all throughout the year, that are Second Amendment or firearm related. So if this isn't for you, there's probably something out there that you could go to and meet up with some friends and have a pretty good time. But I would recommend NRAAM to somebody if they were looking for a trade show that kind of checks all the boxes. It really does. That's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.